Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome back to Democracy 3. My name, of course, is Orbital. We're playing as Mauritius, and we do have an eventual goal to transform the state into, a religious one, a heavily religious one. That's obviously not taking first priority at this current moment in time. Current priorities include raising GDP, lowering unemployment, increasing health, increasing education. That is at the very, very top. Not to mention the fact that we need to get rid of all of these red bubbles here. So at the end of the last episode, we had just started this turn. We've got all of our political capital to spend. That came out really fast, but I sort of did an okay job. All of our, we've got all of our political capital to spend. We've got a little surplus to play around with. Our debt is slowly going down, ever so slowly, but it's not going anywhere at a very fast pace. But that's fine. We can live with that until we get our GDP completely sorted. Like, we need our GDP to be absolutely gigantically huge before we can start properly tackling this this debt problem that we've got going on. All right, border tensions. This was something that started last episode. But I'm actually blaming it on an event that happened 2 episodes ago, because the Foreign Liberation Movement, they're not fans of us, and because they didn't allow us to base their camp in like our land, I guess they're not a fan of us. Does that even make sense? You understand what I'm saying. You've probably seen the episode 2 episodes ago. If you haven't, then it's probably a good place to check out. Uncompetitive economy is trending downwards, and what I'm most excited about is skill shortage. Now, I think skill shortage is actually going to end on the next darned turn. Unbelievably, I think that we're going to be able to get rid of this, and this is going to boost our GDP by 20%. 20% in a single red bubble. That is huge, so we can really look forward to get rid of that. Technology backwater, it's trending downwards. It's only 8% of our GDP though, so it's not as important as the big skills shortage. But it's certainly something that we care about. This asthma epidemic looks like it's trending down as well. It's basically completely dependent on the environment, and the environment is mostly dependent on car usage. Car usage is kind of what is the big factor in all this. Now, we did introduce in the last episode a whole bunch of policies that really should help reduce car usage. If we want to go further, then we probably could. We could probably introduce... I don't really want to introduce bus subsidies or even rail subsidies. I don't know. Anything that sort of looks kind of good. Free bus passes would be quite a good idea. I think let's go for free bus passes. Okay, this isn't actually going to affect car usage, which is a little bit annoying. So we'll bring that down to... It is going to affect bus usage though, and I suppose as a cumulative total, and I think that's how it works, it adds rail, bus, and car totals all up together. So I guess we should probably spend 2.62 billion on it. Now, we are technically going over our surplus limit, but as I've already talked about in the last episode, if we go over by, anywhere between 1 to 2 billion, we can sort of expect the economy to grow and cover that loss, so we can probably still end up with a surplus even if we go over our current surplus. However, the more times we do that, the more we are really saying to our debt, okay, debt, you're going to be high forever. And that's not really a position that we ever want to get into. That's not a position of defeat that I'm willing to accept. Not at all. But I do want to sort out asthma, and that is not a priority for us, but it's something that's pretty important to do. This uncompetitive economy also has to go. It just has to go. We need to improve our productivity any way possible, and we're gonna do our damnedest to try it. We don't really want to reduce productivity. We want to increase productivity. I mean, maternity leave is fucking terrible, actually. Like, or should I say, the level... It's not obviously it's not a terrible policy. Like, it's a really good policy, but currently, at the current levels, it's not really helping anybody. It's only reducing inequality by a little bit. It's not great. It's not great at all. We'll need to think about how we want to solve that, but... you know, productivity is really something that we should focus on trying to sort out. Yeah, because productivity, it really does define a heck of a lot of stuff. And most importantly, it's the uncompetitive economy. So we need to just get the productivity up any way that we possibly can. Unemployment is going to be difficult to raise, so I imagine that this negative modifier of 10% is going to, you know, stick around for quite a while. However, we can grow technology, education, and health. All of these things are things that we can grow. So, you know, that's kind of nice. Health is looking really, really good. Health is looking greater than it's ever looked. Pollution is actually trending downwards unbelievably because we're, you know, we're dedicating some policies towards the environment. So as soon as we get rid of a couple of red bubbles, and when I say a couple, I mean the asthma and pollution. If we can get rid of that, then that's probably going to have a knock-on effect and make the economy competitive once again. By that time, skill shortage will definitely have ended, and I'm almost certain that technology backwater will have ended by that time as well. So, whoops. Very, very important that we try and do as much as we possibly can for the environment. A lot of our transport policies that we introduced in the last episode are actually gonna go towards helping that. A clean fuel subsidy. I'm actually going to introduce this because this is going to help the environment by just a flat-out percent, you know, of 5%. So it's not that bad, but it's not great either. It's also going to make the environmentalists just a little bit happier with us, which is really, really nice. If I'm not mistaken, we have got 0% of people that are actually ethnic minorities. Okay, that's, you know, that's just one less group that we need to cater for, I guess. You know, one less group of interests that we really need to cater for. And apart from the ethnic minorities, of which we have none in the country, we're doing really, really well, I think. Like, everybody seems to like us. We're halfway through our term, give or take. I don't know if we're exactly halfway through the term. I'm not going to count the turns out. And our popularity is through the roof. And, you know, I think there's a very, very strong correlation here, right? The more GDP you got, the higher your GDP, the higher your country's GDP, the more, the more people are going to vote for you, which is really, really awesome. I mean, poor people flipping love us now. They used to absolutely hate us. They really, really did. You know, so that's really, really good to see. That's really, really good to see. Do we have any other political capital that we need to spend? Not really. We can afford to go to the next turn. Foreign visit schedule. It is time to set the schedule for the year's diplomatic foreign visits. As head of state, you may choose to arrange tours with existing allies or in countries with which we would like to establish new friendships. These nations tend to lie in differing power blocks, and your choices will not go unnoticed. Visit the historic ally. Strengthen the historical ties that we have with an existing ally. Although foreign relations are good between our countries now, this ally was initially an occupying force in our nation. Okay, the patriotic would see the ties broken with this part of our country's history, but the ally is a welcome source of foreign aid. Build a new relationship. It is time to leave our past in the past and forge new relationships with lucrative trading partners. By arranging a visit with an emerging economic powerhouse, our own economy will rise with the tide. But we may be seen to be snubbing our historic allies with this approach, but we look to the future. We're going to visit the historic ally. I think that that's the correct course of action. I have no idea if it actually is, but we'll wait and see. We'll wait and see, hopefully. Also, hopefully we're running a surplus as well. Skill shortage has ended. Oh my goodness. Do you see this? Do you see this number? Do you see this number, people? Do you see it? Look at that jump. My economic policies are working. Mauritius is getting out of the hole that it's been in for such a long darned time. Holy cow. That is hugely exciting. I am very, very, very pumped to see that. And all because of skill shortage. I called it in the last episode. I called it in the episode before that. I did say that skill shortage and the elimination of skill shortage is essential to ensuring that we are a decent country. And you know what? Why did productivity go down? Why did productivity go down? It's real bad, actually. Should have gone up. Should have gone up. Should have gone up. That's really unfortunate. Because now we need to deal with that, right? We need to deal with the fact that we've got a decreasing productivity, and that might just be for one turn, or it might be for a couple of turns. But either way, I don't like it. I don't like it at all. How are we doing on the asthma epidemic? We're not doing great on the asthma epidemic. Yeah, we could be doing a little bit better. Let's look at revenue administration. To reduce the informal sector. So what do we want to do here? We could increase the informal sector. We could actually cut back on a couple of things. Like, that's something that we've not really done at all this playthrough. We haven't cut back on anything hugely. We could try and lower state pensions. That's totally acceptable. Maybe if we can lower this to, you know, by 10 billion or so, it'll have a negligible difference. It will increase poverty by a little bit, but that's not something that we really want to see happen, actually. I think we should probably do that. Yeah. And the reason that I say we do that is one of two reasons, right? Reason number one, we need to start paying off this debt, and the more money that we can have as a surplus right now is really going to help us. Also, the time that is going to be coming after this, like, we're super close to hitting the global economic peak, and we need to have money in the tank to sustain us on the way down. We cannot afford to go bankrupt when the global economy is on the way down. We need to arrive at the very bottom, right? We need to arrive here. Imagine this is a, you know, this goes down like this. Way, you know, so we come down, you know, we're smaller surpluses, running smaller surpluses every time. We need to arrive here still with a surplus, right? We need to arrive at the very bottom, which is called a trough. We need to arrive at the trough with a surplus, and that is hugely important. Then all of the important experimental decisions can be made when the global economy is picking up. If there is a flash crash or whatever, that doesn't really matter. Like, who cares about a flash crash? It's not going to stand in our way for very long. All right, let's go to the next turn. And fingers crossed we will have a great next turn. Oh my goodness. Agrarian society. Who needs cities and technology anyway when you can have the majority of your citizens out in the fields doing an honest day's toil? An honest day's toil. So I said that there wasn't any new achievements. I was clearly wrong. This is definitely, without a doubt, a new achievement. You know, the rural-urban mechanic wasn't something that was actually in the first Democracy... Well, the first Democracy game. The first Democracy 3 game, should I say. But, you know, the fact that we've got this is pretty darned nice. Oh my goodness, this is awesome. This is really cool. A stock exchange has developed. And this has been due to the fact that we are very stable. Like, because of our GDP, and I think, yeah, basically because of our GDP, the fact that our GDP has increased to a certain level, it means that we have been deemed as stable. So there's a brand new green bubble in the game, which is, of course, stability. Not stability, stock exchange, which is really cool. A national stock exchange has been established, allowing for a diverse set of instruments to be freely traded. Awesome. Participants in the market can invest by accruing equity in domestic enterprises, as well as by purchasing debt agreements to fund the operation of these companies. Sweet. So capitalists are really going to be liking us, and socialists aren't going to be liking us. And it's having a minimal effect on GDP, and also having a minimal effect on foreign investment as well. I don't know how long it's going to take before this sort of wears away. I don't know if this is sort of like a semi-permanent feature. I would imagine that it probably is. Our island has been invaded. You may have forgotten that technically we have sovereignty over a tiny island. Well, the good news is that we still technically do, but the bad news that as of 9 AM this morning, we no longer have effective control of the island. That's really bad, actually. Patriots are outraged that this has happened. And apparently we've got an egalitarian society as well, even though we recently just cut pensions. Yeah, I mean, let's not talk about that. Let's not talk about the fact that we cut pensions. Basically, this is only going to make people happier with us, and that just helps in getting elected. I mean, that's pretty much it. GDP is taking a little bit of a dump, actually, which is not great. How's our uncompetitive economy doing? Ah, no, we really need to get rid of the uncompetitive economy. Alright, I think we need to just get rid of corporation tax. I think that's what we need to do. We currently have a surplus of 66 billion? That's insane. That's ridiculous. That is ridiculous. That is huge. That is absolutely huge. And the fact that unemployment is continuing to go down, that is going to be helping our productivity to no ends. Like, that, you know, Theoretically, productivity should be going up as unemployment comes down. I think. That's the obvious mechanic that I can see. Although maybe it's not. Maybe I've just got it completely backwards. This is annoying. This is really annoying, actually. I would really like to increase productivity. However, if we're not going to be able to increase productivity, which I really want to increase productivity. Like, that needs to be a priority for us. Because look, it's hurting us a lot. It's hurting us a lot. Yeah, it's lowering our GDP by 6%. I don't think we can afford to do that. I mean, health, how is health doing? Maybe it's just a case of we just wait long enough for our productivity to increase, because health is eventually going to go up, right? Health is eventually going to go up. I really want to scrap, maternity leave, but that's not a good thing to do at all. That is a substantial decrease to productivity, though. We need to bear that in mind. Education is on the way up as well. Like, that's hugely important that we just get that up, because that's just going to really help out with making sure that productivity is high. So fingers crossed that we can deal with that. What's our cap? Our cap is 54. Our entire cabinet, apart from you and you, you're a trade unionist, and let me guess, you're a trade unionist as well. Oh, what a funny coincidence. Both trade unionists happen to be unhappy with me. Can we change the labor laws? This is going to reduce our productivity, I think. Yeah, this is going to go from productivity as high to a reduction in productivity. Let's make the trade unionists hate us less by balancing it a little bit more effectively. Yeah, we'll see if that actually works to make a difference in anything. It's not going to cost us anything either. Now, our debt is going to be, taking a very sharp downturn. I would hope that next turn, next turn we're not going to be making a lot of surplus, because if you don't know, this is the next turn. So I imagine that our surplus is going to be maybe halved, right, to about 30 billion. I think we don't invest in anything right now. I honestly think that is the correct course of action. I think we just don't do it. We just don't do it. We just don't do it. We just chill, right? And there we. Okay, so our productivity, our stuff hasn't actually been halved. Maybe I've got this whole predictive thing the wrong way around. No, I haven't got the thing the wrong way around. Yeah, so this is 51, and next turn we're gonna be going pretty insane, right? That's what's gonna happen. We're gonna make shit tons of money, and it's gonna be great. However, the important thing to note is our debt, which has gone right down. Right down by, 66 billion. All of our surplus was diverted into just paying off the national debt, which is very good for us, and very essential, I must hasten to add. Also, we can see that the global economy is roughly coming to the peak right now, and it's going to start its trend downwards very shortly. So we need to be aware that that is going to happen, and I think that the best way to prep for that is to keep going along this same route that we've gone along. How is productivity doing? I would imagine productivity is going to go a little bit further, since we adjusted the labor laws. Kind of sucks a little bit, but hey ho. Health is still having a negative effect. State health service. Can we pump any more money into the state health service? I don't really know if we want to. I mean, we're already funding it very massively. What about introducing some policies that have, like free eye tests and free school meals? I think we might try that. Yep, health. So we'll fund that for 700 million. Capitalists aren't going to like us. Wealthy people aren't going to like us. Honestly, I don't know why capitalists would be complaining, because they get free eye tests as well. So nothing to complain about, guys. Nothing to complain about at all. Okay, let's get free school meals as well. Let's introduce that. Free school meals, a very good policy. Increasing health by 8%, that is crazy. And reducing poverty by 15%, that is ridiculous. And nothing here, absolutely nothing here is bad. Like, there's literally nothing. It costs us $1 billion. That's a drop in the bucket. That is so unbelievably minimal for what we're getting. And we are getting a lot. An absolute ton of stuff from that, which is hugely, hugely awesome. Power block switch. Our historic alignment with one of the world's largest powers is in question. Their influence in global politics has waned with their economy, and we now have been approached by their bitter rivals who are seeking an alliance. We're gonna join the non-aligned movement. I think that sort of fits in with our whole... oh shit, our surplus just dropped down. Yeah, it's probably just due to the updating of the expenditure that we spent this turn. Yeah, I think we sort of want to go for a national identity sort of feel. I mean, we already said that we were going to maintain ties with the historic ally in a previous decision in this episode, and I think that by forging our own way, that we're continuing that sort of trend. So that's kind of how I feel about that. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very, very much for watching this episode of Democracy 3 Africa. My name, of course, has been Orbital Potato, and hopefully you'll tune in next time for some more Mauritius. Until then, folks. Bye.